topic is the just protests, the killings happening there. And of course, there was a protest and there was a peace walk again on Sunday, and there are still killings happening everywhere. But, there is a video to this, but I don't know, I would like to, for Shaya, please, you play the video where I just read a little bit of what is actually going on in just right now, why there's a protest and why there was a peace walk. Now, the protest broke out in Jos, that was Plateau State capital. That was on Monday morning over the continued killing of indigenous residents by gunmen suspected to be Fulani militants. Now, the demonstration led by Christian leaders, including the state chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Reverend Polycarp Lugo, commenced on Monday morning at the Fabway Junction Community Road, causing a heavy gridlock and stranding the commuters. Now, the latest protest comes amid a surge in violent attack by government in various communities, with over 100 people killed in Bokos and Bassa local government areas in the past 2 weeks. Now, of course, the church actually staged a peace walk, and that is the video we're seeing right now, to honor victims who have lost their lives in this killing. And of course, we know a lot of people have actually asked, why do we have President Tinubu outside the country? But today is the day of return, what they've said. But we don't know if he's here. But anyways, I want to ask a question: why we think that this point now, like they said, there's a state of emergency somewhere where we do not even have much of what is going on right now, at that place. But here it is. This is where I think a state of emergency should be declared.
Yeah.
And not in River State. Because you can see the people are really tired. The killing is just outrageous. Do you understand? So I want to know, why do you think, I think this is even one of the reasons why people don't believe in state of emergency in River State, because they believe that all the places where this killing happened day in, day out, that is where it should be declared. But what's your take?
All right. For a start, the killing in Jos is historic. It's been for decades now. If not, if I'm not exaggerating, like a century now, the killing has been ongoing for a very, very long time. I remember when Dario was governor of Plateau, there was massive destruction, massive killing. I traveled to Jos just after then, and the relics I saw there, I was like, wow, how did people survive here? Okay, well, it's been mad. It's been crazy. It has been running for years. And of course, it's between this elders farmer thing that is the prime of the killing and all that. It's sad that till now we still have not gotten permanent solution to that, and Nigerians are being wasted as a result of that. And there are a lot of things that is at stake here. There's the mineral grab, all right, solid mineral grab and all of that. So there are machineries, there are people that have been used, ethnic cleansing and all of that. So I just scare them off so that people can take hold of the resources, because illegal mining is thriving seriously in that part of the nation, across the north, where you have consistency of such killings. Trust me, is a contention for mineral resources, because people are taking billions of dollars, all right, away from the nation. And then, of course, these are strong guys being in there. And unfortunately, it's happening. And then, government has not been strong enough to put an end to that. So to have full access to the minerals, that's why they need to kill as much as they can. They can just clear the area. That's what they are doing. And there are big guys behind it, supporting it, making it work the way it's working. Another thing is this policing. Policing comes to play, because it's difficult to tell sometimes to abort the heat. But these guys just come up and they just hit and they disappear. Before they come to hit, they are like the regular people there. So how do you know who is who?
I don't think you're responding to my question, because I know you're, from all indications, you've always been in support for the state of emergency in River State. Okay. Right? So
I was building up to that. I know what you asked.
Okay. Because I just really need you to
I was building up to that.
Okay, before you react to that, it's your answer is leading me to the video that was making waves, I think 2 weeks ago, where Adams Oshomole actually said that this illegal mining being done in Plateau State and other parts of the north,
Zamfara,
yes, it's actually carried out by generals.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's the gospel truth. That's the gospel truth. They are the strong guys involved, and it gets away with billions of dollars. They get with billions. And the truth is this: I don't want to sound so much of a conspiracy theory now, because these guys are so strong and powerful. Now, if the government, ordinary people will say government should just go after them. If the government is not guided in going after them, the nation will be brought down in a minute. They are that powerful. They're that powerful. So you have to be careful how you approach them. Okay.
But I do not want to believe anyone can be as powerful as
you don't know them. They have their league.
As the people.
They know what to do to bring the nation down. Some of these guys have been around power for almost 60 years, 50 years.
Okay,
They've been around power.
That the government knows the people involved, because Adams Oshiomhole actually said it and said he was going to mention names if he's asked to. Now that the government knows these people, why can't they, go after them? Because
they also have deniability. Most of the time, you cannot trace this thing to them directly. They work through proxies. It's a syndicate. It's a syndicate, but they work through, and they command respect. They can unleash terror. And beyond Nigeria, why do you think Nigeria is begging Niger Republic today? Because these guys they can bring in the bandit from Niger, and then the entire north will be crippled. Okay, because as we speak now, look at the boundaries. What's it called? The borders. The borders in the north is as porous as hell. All right. Niger guys can just walk in. ISWAP can come in from any part of Africa, from Burkina Faso, or whatever, and just walk into Nigeria unchecked. Okay. All right. So now, coming to your question.
Yes, please. Let's take focus on what we're discussing.
Now, coming to your question. Yes. Before now, Mr. President said to the governor of Plateau State, he said, take charge of your state. That was a very strong language. He said, take charge of your state. Now, if you understand that statement, even the governor understood that statement. Now, what he's telling you is this. If this continues, something will be done. Now, the president is telling the governor, take charge of your state. Now, that is a strong warning to say, any moment from now, if this continues, the president will come up.
I don't want to buy into that. There are killings here in, here out, and you are still giving a warning. Blossom. Is it until we have
Blossom?
I don't understand.
I understand you, Blossom, because this killing, this particular killing, is being consistent. A lot of people being killed.
So why are we still giving warning?
A lot of Nigerians dying. I mean, you're the president, okay? You should love your people.
Yeah.
That's what we voted you in for. There were no killings in Rivers State before you declared state of emergency. Why are you allowing your citizens to be killed every time? It's been consistent.
Okay.
What are you waiting for to declare a state of emergency in Plateau State?
All right, fine. Now, the difference there, I will try to be as sensitive as possible. And I will hope that the public will not misunderstand what I'm about to say here, so that they will not ask for my head. All right. In Plateau, Zamfara, and all of that. Now, I said here on this program some times ago that a state of emergency is an extreme approach. Now, before you declare a state of emergency, you will have exhausted every options available and all of that. Now, if you're going to play on state of emergency very quickly, then this democracy is a military regime. All right, that's what it will become. But now, what we do have also is that the military guys are also there intervening and then getting stuff done. Okay, killing the bandits, fighting back, and all of that. Just that the killing has been much. And then we do not agree with that. Okay, let's conclude that the military are not doing enough, but they are doing some stuff to repel it and then to stop it
because
and all of that.
Democratic regime.
Despite the killing,
there's no state of emergency declared in that state. You and I know that the military cannot move in fully.
They are working. They're actually working. They are working. And then I was going to tell you how it might be a bit difficult to stop the killing, right?
Why is it a bit difficult? Okay. We'd like to hear that.
We'd like to hear that. Yeah. For example, now, there are a lot of compromises here and there.
Okay.
Traditional rulers are not innocent. The people that does this killing, before they hit, they are seen as regular people. You understand? They move around like every other person. So you don't know who to suspect. We don't have enough intelligence to abort such attack. We don't know who to suspect. We don't know who could be pushing the heat here or there. You understand? So they just see them as natural, the normal, regular people there. Then before you know it, the next moment they come to hit. We don't have the security, technology, and then infrastructure for intel gathering, and then it's not strong on ground. So what I'm trying to say here is this: it is the people within the community, all right, that are used. Now, when foreigners come into the community, the people of that area should be at alert. All right, should be at alert, not just be onlookers and watch them play. Now, it's also because they compromise the traditional rulers, they have of them, they have a way of settling them in and all of that, because they work together in some cases. All right, so it's a bit difficult to stop the attack. And then you look at the policing force. What is the ratio of police to citizens? Probably a police to almost 1,000 citizens. So what can that do? Then when we crave for state policing, so we look at policing. So how effective is policing? Then that's one angle. So it's easy for those guys to just walk in and strike their hits, because in the first place, then the governors are also not doing enough with local hunters and all of that, because it takes a lot of fun too to make this guy work in shifts, day, afternoon, and night. All right, but the funding to do that has not been there. Okay, so generally these killers mingle with the people, so you can't just they don't write it on their faces. And then when you have strange faces moving around, there is nothing done to put the spotlight on them. The traditional rulers are not doing enough. They're not profiling strangers.
Is that not enough for you to now declare a state of emergency? That's the point.
That's the point.
That's the point.
That's what
I agree with you, but the thing is this: because even at that, the military are still on ground doing stuff. It's not just a free work for these killers.
Mr. Chris.
But
Okay,
what I'm saying is, if you are too quick in declaring state of emergency,
quick to declare state of emergency in Rivers State. That's what
I was coming to that. If you're going to declare state of emergency in Plateau, in Zamfara, in Sokoto, and in all of that, it should be a military rule.
Mr. Chris, Blossom is saying.
And let me give a straight answer to that. Let me give a straight answer to that.
Declared in Rivers
Let me give a straight.
There were no killings.
Let me give a straight answer to that.
Straight answer, because I want to respond to my viewers too.
Okay, a straight answer to that is this. Okay, I try to be sensitive. Now, there are killings in these areas, and then there's a need for a state of emergency, but the military is still working. And if you saw maybe 10 killings, some have probably been, aborted and all of that. Yes, people are your most valuable assets, and we know that. Now, in Rivers, what the big threat, and I don't start from the studio here, don't misunderstand from the studio here. The biggest threat in Rivers was not in the killing. It's not with the killing, actually, but with the economic sabotage. And
so
trust
the economy
me,
more important than
that is not what I want you to say.
You know what?
You are missing it. You are missing it.
Mr. Prince, don't worry, you're not going home today. We are backing you.
We'll talk about that.
We are backing. I want to respond to my viewers because our time is actually fast spent. So I have a message from Amechi from Ogba in Lagos. Says that what we have now is nothing close to democracy. This government is worse than that of General Sani Abacha. Well, just one question. Do you actually think this statement is true for a fact? Just the straight answer.
No.
So you think
it's
Sani Abacha was what?
No. Of course, that's a highly exaggerated comment.
All right, let's pick a call. Hold on, sorry. Let's pick up yours call. Hello, good afternoon.
Excuse me.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much for calling. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm from AI Bello.
All right, please go ahead. We're listening.
The issue of ground. The policy makers decided to Mr. President and the cabinet. We are just looking at the opposition. When you pay too much attention to opposition, the right thing has not been done. We are looking at 2027. We are not looking at the challenges of the people. You can't tell me that the former governor of Kogi State, Yahya Bello, single-handedly bought a jet for Nigeria police. So if the whole governor of the 36 State could do say, they should take side to those people, to those parties who are coming to kill people. You don't tell me that those people are bigger than the government. Why won't the security given to one senator is more than 4 or 7, and people are dying? The truth needs to be told. We shouldn't be playing politics. I'm sorry to say, Mr. President, meanwhile, push these people, let them take fight to these people. We shouldn't stay and be saying the opposition are trying all means to destroy the president. The policy makers know the right thing to do. We shouldn't be saying this person, who is to do it?
Okay.
You said the military guys are there. And they are top of those issues. Then push them to let them go and secure those places. If they cannot declare state of emergency in all the places, they should take it to that particular point where those incidents are happening.
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
That is my faith.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling.
Well, I'm sorry people are calling in, but we can't pick any call because we have to wrap up the show. Time is already gone. Well, with what he said, you can see that his view is quite different from your view because everybody's focused on the killing. Everybody wants something to be done because it could be a brother, it could be a sister. So we do not want to hear that. And I think it's very normal for us to show more sympathy towards human than the economy.
Terrorism cannot be stopped overnight. It's not possible. The moment you allow terrorism to be entrenched, you are in for a trouble.
Okay.
You are in for a trouble. So when the mistake we made was allowing it to settle down, because once terrorism has settled down, you are going to fight it for too long. That's what is happening now. Because there are many angles they are coming in from. There are compromises here and there, key compromises. Sometimes it could be even be the military that is compromised. Then how do you fight it? Sometimes it's traditional rulers. Sometimes it's the people themselves. All right. So it's difficult. There's several dimensions they come through to make this thing difficult to fight.
We're rounding up actually. But one quick question and one answer before we round up. Well, I just said that we can't take any question anymore. We'd like to have you back on the seat.
Yes, we'd like to have you back on the seat. Is he going home today?
No. No, definitely.
Okay.
Well, if I was speaking off camera, I'll be more direct and in-depth.
Okay, well, just to honor our viewers, because we did not take a lot of calls and messages, I'm just going to read one more. This one says, our leaders value money and their cows than the lives of the people. So on this note, I would like to say thank you very much, Mr. Chris, for being on the show. Even though we said you're not going home, eventually you go home, but...
So let me make this last statement.
Which statement?
Let me just make this last statement.
That you will go home.
No, not that. Not that. That's what I want to make is this. Sometimes it's very difficult when you're not on the seats because you don't see all the angles. Sometimes you see just an angle. I don't understand why things are not the way it should be.
No,
if you sit or if you're on the seat and then you see, okay, it's interwoven.
All right.
And sometimes it's very difficult.
You're going to come back
we already said that. Thank you.
All right.
So thank you very much to you.
Calling.
Thank you to our viewers.